Hello, welcome back to Premier League Primetime. And before I introduce this, if you ask why am I wearing shades, crud. Pogba was too bright out there. He was too bright out there for me. Andre, I remember you sitting here a bit more than 6 months ago, raging on my porch. But Manchester United 3,
Raging. You were raging. I was
Tottenham
happy.
1, and the referee was crap. But you know what? I'll take the 3 points. I'm happy. But first off, Andre, how are you doing other than the loss?
I'm doing good with both. It's okay. I'm doing good.
And of course, we're joined by he is back, Mr. Huckleberry Jones. Bro, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm all good, and we're also joined by Connor's spirit, and Connor will always be with us. So
Give it up to Connor.
Bro. Big up yourself. Anyways, let's get right into this. As I've said, Manchester United 3. Tottenham 1. Andre, thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was I predicted the score exactly. Just because I figured United are on much better form. Their away form is remarkable. Was it 22 games unbeaten or 23?
Yeah, I think we've been unbeaten
23 now
in the league all season. Give us an invincible trophy for that one.
Yeah, they should. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, I think it was an uphill battle from the start. All I wanted was that Tottenham show up, actually show some togetherness, because it's just been lacking with every game we play. Missed that chance against Newcastle, just sneaking into fourth spot. We messed it up. I feel like their chances are kind of done now, especially after this match. But the match overall, I was generally pleased with their performance. I feel like it's better than what we've been putting out, and hopefully, even though we lost, it can still be a building point on certain aspects.
Yeah, I mean, you said it there perfectly. It's definitely better than that Newcastle performance, because that was shocking. But another loss for Tottenham. They were top 4. Hopes are spiraling down the drain. What was your overall thoughts on?
I think you mean Orsic the GOAT. Game was great, man. We're 23 games in a row unbeaten. Bruno has never lost an away match in the Premier League his whole career here, which is fantastic, and can't be more happy. Call us the comeback kids. We go 1 down, we go 2 down.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't matter. We're gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We still got a shot to win the league. City's got to screw up a couple more times. Shout out Leeds United. But doing good.
Exactly. And I remember someone saying in the preview that Harry Kane should get PFA Player of the Year.
Kane's out.
No, they should.
He's leaving.
Yeah.
He's out of Tottenham. See him at Real Madrid next year.
For me, he 100% needs to go. Heung-Min Son need to go if they have any ambition, in my opinion. Andre, any more thoughts on the Tottenham performance before we get into the Tottenham player ratings?
Yeah, I think I'll make my points as we go through the player ratings.
Okay. We'll start off in between the 6 Hugo Lloris. Where are you giving Hugo for today?
I mean, you look at some of the stops that Henderson made at the other end, and you say Lloris, I think, maybe made 1 or 2 good stops. I think for that Fred goal, he did make the initial save, which was good, but overall, I think we could expect more. It was pretty average performance from Lloris, so probably give him a 5.
All right. We'll go into the back 4, starting with Serge Aurier. Thank the Lord there is no, tongue out knee slide celebration.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Or else that would have really, really crippled my mental health, and I'm sure he would have done the same for Hucks and for Connors as well. So what are you going to Aurier for today?
Yeah, one of the brighter spots on the entire Tottenham team today. I thought he was really good. He's been out of the team. We've been playing Tanganga there. He was first injured, and then the international break, we just didn't put him back afterwards. I think 4 or 5 goal contributions in the international break alone. So I give Aurier like a 7 or an 8. I think he was really good.
Okay.
I'd give him a 7.
Center back pairing. We'll start with Joe Rodon.
Yeah, our most consistent center back, which isn't saying much, but he's been really great. I think both their center backs are quite good, so I'd give them 6s.
Do you give Dyer a 6 as well?
Yeah, they both get 6.
And for me, it's just like I understood it in the beginning of the season, but like I don't really get, the small bit of hype that's around Dyer. like.
Well, I mean, it's disappeared now. This is the first appearance he had in the team.
No, like even now, like I see Tottenham fans on social media running their mouths about I'm not even joking. I'm not
Is it where's Alderweireld gone? Is he hurt? Like I have no idea.
No, he's been pretty frozen. I think all of our center backs have had some like couple weeks where they've just been frozen out of the side, and right now that's Toby Alderweireld.
That's
the Mourinho way. Yep.
He's the Mourinho way.
That's the Mourinho way.
Yeah. And you know, Pogba was dealing with that for ages, and I mean, and we saw it, and we clearly saw that when new management came in, that he clearly picked up his performances.
Same with Fred too.
But enough about the best player on the pitch today. Back to Tottenham. We'll go. We got Ravioli, B-Tech, Luke Shaw, Reguilon.
Who you wanted in the summer? Reguilon, you know, I don't know what's going on with him, but I don't think he's been that great recently for them.
He hasn't.
From the expectations that he set at the beginning, from when he first arrived, it's just been pretty poor showing. I think from the starting 11, I thought he was the poorest on the pitch, probably. So for me, I think Reguilon he's average like Laurie's, playing him like a 5.
I mean, Rashford had him on toast. Yeah, he had him on absolute toast.
I remember you panicking.
There were a couple times where Rashford had him on absolute toast.
I mean, he can get a shot off, but whatever.
He did get subbed off, so.
Yeah, Rashford. It wasn't. Yeah.
I'm not saying Rashford was good. I'm not saying Rashford.
To say he had Reguilon on toast is definitely a little bit.
A couple times he had Reguilon on toast. I said a couple times.
It's a bit far-fetched.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Into the midfield, and we'll start off with Højbjerg.
Yeah, bright spot. Again, he was decent. He had a lot of. He's pretty dramatic today, wasn't he? Going down.
Oh yeah. I couldn't tell if it was Højbjerg or if it was Neymar. I couldn't tell. I really could not tell.
Yeah, he was pretty. He was active today overall. I'd probably give him like a 6.
Alongside him, Ndombele.
Actually, Højbjerg's pressing was good, and then his drama was good. His passing was average. His movement was average. We played a 4-3-3, ended up, so he was at the bottom of it. So obviously didn't have that much to do with it.
I thought Eric Lamela had been teaching him some things. Alongside him, Ndombele.
Ndombele, pretty good. I wish he'd taken more guys one-on-one like he's done in the past few matches. He did it at the end of Newcastle. He did it in a few other matches, but today he played a little more fundamental, I guess. So probably get like a 6 or 7. 6. I'll give him a 6.
All right. Into the attacking trio, starting off with Giovanni Lo Celso.
Yeah. He's still learning to adapt to everything, but I do think he's got talent. Yeah, because you look, sometimes he's just like, he's not dealing with the high pressing. Sometimes he's taking one too many touches at times. And I think he has good ideas. I think he's a class player. I think even there was some quote like way back a while ago where Dyer was like, this guy should be playing for Real Madrid or something. So I think he has talent. I thought he was fairly good today, but there were instances where I'm like, just move the ball, keep moving the ball. He just held it on that little bit too long. So playing with Chelsea, like, yeah, I give him a 6 also. Confident 6 though.
All right. On the right hand side, who's on the right hand side?
It was Lo Celso.
No, he's super middle. Oh wait, no, Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura.
Yeah,
Lucas. I thought he was one of your best players there.
Really? Yeah. Look, for me, Lucas. Look, he's obviously he has talent, but for me, out on the wide, he's just too easy to close down. Every time he ran through the center, he had your defense. I mean, he was just running through, and then his passing's not there. But when he's in the center, and when he just plays in the center, man, it's like he's so hard to contain because the way he takes it.
I definitely agree with David. So he was your best player on the field today.
Yeah. By a million miles. And I mean, like. And we also, another thing, I mean, like playing against, the Premier League's best left back, that's also no easy job, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's definitely,
I mean, yeah, sure.
Oh.
But,
yeah.
No, Lucas was, he was a good player. I'd probably give him another 7. He's been one of our best, he's probably been our best player the past maybe 5-6 matches.
All right. On the left-hand side, Heung-Min Son. For me, other than the goal, he didn't do that much.
He had the shot that Henderson saved, remember? So he had
that as well, but
yeah. So I mean, from what you can expect from our general attack, I think Yeah, he was in the right places at the right times. He did all the right things. Was he exemplary? No, but had he been just an average player, and you'd say, okay, he played a decent game. He played quite well. I bet if Saka did that, everyone would be writing his cop. So Son,
don't even get me started on Smith Rowe, bro. Oh my goodness.
Oh my life, yeah. Like, look, I get the hype around Saka. I get the hype around Saka. I really do like him.
One of the hypers of Saga. Hypest.
Because he's proven out he is. He's proven it. Yes, he's okay. Dropped off.
Yes, he's good. But he's not amazing.
I think he's one of the best youngsters in the league. Look, I don't get the hype with Emile Smith Rowe, but I get about Saka because I've seen him do it consistently. Anyways,
I get this hype more than I get the Saka.
Nobody cares about. Nobody gives two shits about Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
Up front,
playing Sheffield. Who cares? Shut up.
Up front, Mr. MIA, Mr. B-Tech Martial, Mr. Harry Kane not getting PFA Player of the Year.
19 goals, 13 assists, 32 goal contributions, whatever. You know what? Anyway,
Bruno Fernandes.
No, Kane. Come on, he's been.
But he was poor today. He was poor today.
Both of them were. Kane was definitely. This is definitely the poorest game he's had in a while. This is one. I mean, you can't say he's been absent from the games recently. This is just a one-off where today he didn't do that well.
Yeah, he was big against Newcastle. I mean, he got you those goals, but today he was absolutely awful.
Even against Arsenal, where we didn't attack the last 10 minutes, he was at the forefront of everything. Mm-hmm. So it was like it literally felt like Kane versus Arsenal at the end of that. Yeah. But yeah, Kane, this is his first poor performance he's had in a while. He'd probably get like a 5.
All right. Subs off the bench. We'll start with who first came on. Sissoko.
Sissoko. I understand this. I don't like to critique Jose's decisions, and I get why he thought Sissoko might have been the right decision just for that formation change, so 4-3 to 4-2-3-1. But Sissoko, man, what the hell? He was just the weakest total on the pitch. He made like Sissoko. 2 flat passes. I think his pass completion has to be like under 50% when he came on, man. I was like, what the hell is he? So Sissoko has dropped off so much. I absolutely want to sell him in the summer for sure. For me, I think he's got to be out the door. Winks too, maybe. So it's like Sissoko's got to be out the door. I understand why he was put on for that formation change, but it's like we can do better.
I'm pretty sure Sissoko was put on because for anyone who's seen the All or Nothing, that tight bromance between Ndombele, Aurier, and Sissoko, maybe and maybe Mourinho was thinking, maybe put on Musa. They can link up together and play better.
It's so weird. That's 100% what it is. Like you saw with Pochettino, where it's like everyone was kind of really tight with each other, and now Mourinho's this weird thing where he plays like the groups of friends, like with Doherty, Roden, Bale, or
I'll be there for you.
Yeah, it's just or the Aurier
and the Bell is Sissoko and Aurier.
It's so weird, man. It's the weirdest thing ever. So yeah, it's so weird. But Sissoko's got to get like a 2 or 3. He's horrible. Mm-hmm. I'll give him a 3.
Lamela
didn't have the time to do much. He got the ball like 4 times.
No diving, no cheating.
I mean, Lamela, look, he's a fantastic player, better than Tony Martial. But Lamela is.
Here he goes.
No, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything this game. He gets a 4.
There's one word to describe Lamela. It's just called shithouse, and then everything else.
100%. And then lastly, Gareth Bale. Did you have enough time to give a rating or no?
No, it's just both of them. But came on. They didn't have time to do anything. I mean, to be fair, I thought United's management, once they got the lead, was amazing. It's what Tottenham have lacked the entire time. So with that, it's like they contained all of our subs incredibly well. And it's like they managed the game. That was it. So we didn't have to get a chance to do anything. Bill probably gets a 4 also.
Manager's rating. Jose Mourinho, please stay, by the way. Hope he stays.
I predicted his line. I told you I predicted his starting 11 exactly. There are 3 new changes, and I thought he's gonna go Dier. He's gonna surprise everybody and go Dier and Roden, which he did.
I wish it was Dier Sanchez because you probably
no. That would be horrible. I'm okay with Dier Roden. I thought they definitely for their first pairing in a while, for their first partnership against it, whatever second place side, then it could have been better, but they did stop a few things quite well. Dier came in with that Pogba back heel. He made that save. That was quite impressive. But
that should have been a goal. I don't know why Pogba back heeled it, but anyways.
What
are you giving Jose Mourinho for today?
I'll give him a 6 just because he finally unified the team a little bit. But that's generous. But yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have the Tottenham player ratings, and now going on to Manchester United's. The player ratings. Huck, I'll start with you. Starting off in between the six, Dean Henderson.
I thought he was fantastic. He made a couple kick saves down at the end there. It was really nice. Son, nope. Kane, nope. Any shot was just destroyed. And Lindelof trying to sabotage him. I gave him a 7, probably even closer to an 8.
Yeah,
he played really well.
And by the way, in tribute for Connor, he had his player ratings. He gave Dean Henderson an 8, and he says a few class A's, but couldn't do anything about the Son goal. Literally, carbon copy of what I've said. With the Son goal, I think Wan-Bissaka thought Son was Sterling, so he's probably like, "Oh, just let him off" or something like that, or some crap like that. And Rashford, I think, just completely forgot Son was even there. But for me, I actually agree with Connor. I give him an 8. He was spectacular. He made so many massive saves for us. And for me, I love David De Gea. He's been a fantastic servant, but I think
it's time to go.
To change
yeah, for the money that we can get from De Gea, I feel like 50, 60 million pounds from him.
£375,000 a week. Who's going to pay?
Yeah, and we get back like 50 to 60 million pounds for that. We get rid of Matic, then we're clear.
I don't think any team's paying 50 to 60 million for David De Gea.
Right, you don't know how much La Liga teams are willing to pay for goalkeepers.
I don't think.
And fucking Kepa was 80 million. So
maybe PSG. Maybe PSG.
Yeah.
That's probably. That's the only place I could see him going to. But they're fine with Navas right now. Anyways, Wan-Bissaka.
I thought he was quietly one of the most underrated players. I thought he played really, really, really well. He locked up Son for most of the game except for the goal. And like 2 shots there. He played great passes. He had that volley that almost went in that Lloris had to make a save on. I'd give him probably an 8, honestly. I thought he was really good on the field today. He's also, I like that guy.
Yeah, I think
no personal bias.
Yeah, I think just about everybody likes Wan-Bissaka for me. I think Wan-Bissaka is the best right back we've had since prime. One could say prime Antonio Valencia days. I guess one could say. But yeah, Wan-Bissaka had a good game, but I don't think he played as amazing as people are going to big him up for. I'll give him a 7. Just because a lot of times I feel like he got rinsed by Son. But at the same time, I have to say the thing that stood out for me was actually, going forward. I actually thought he was very going forward today. Connor gave Wan-Bissaka a 6. Yeah, and into the next player, and I'm gonna go with Victor Lindelof. They call him Mr. Iceman, but I'm gonna call him Mr. Swedish dreidel, Mr. Swedish ballerina. Spinning like a freaking Beyblade top for that first goal for Tottenham. That was absolutely atrocious. Huck, what are you giving him?
When does Bailly come back? We need to get him back already, man. This guy is. That's why I gave Wan-Bissaka such a high rating, because you have to cover for Lindelof's ass half the time. But it's like a 5. He did all right. He made like a couple blocks here or there. The real thing is, like, we saw he's good at playing over the top balls. So he played 1 or 2 there that were actually pretty good, but overall 5, because that goal was disgusting that he gave up.
Yeah, Connor gave him a 5 as well. And he said very poor error leading to the goal and an overall just non-dominant performance. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I feel like 4 is a bit harsh, so I'll stick with that 5. And yet again, it's very, very clear that Maguire and Lindelof just does not work. I don't know when Ollie's gonna learn this. But it's. It's that simple. It does not work. But for right now, I think with limited options, you could even play Tonzebe, but I think you had to stick with Lindelof.
Yeah.
Actually, into the next one, Harry Maguire. For me, I actually thought Harry Maguire had a good game. What are you saying?
I would definitely agree. He didn't do anything wrong, which is better than he does normally. So, I'd probably give him a 7 just for staying on the pitch and doing his thing.
So what are you gonna give Maguire for today?
Probably a 7. He played well. He blocked a couple balls. He got a yellow, but like he had to at some point.
Yeah.
But like overall, it was fine. Like he didn't do anything spectacular, but he had an overall solid game. Totally like a 7.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, and honestly, Connor also said a 7, and I would also 100% agree in giving him a 7. I thought he was a lot better, in that sense. Into the next player, Shalberto Carlos, best left back in the league. If Gareth Southgate starts to chill well, I'm gonna lose my mind because his favoritism is just full of crap. Let's be honest with you. But Luke Shaw, another great performance from Luke Shaw. What do you say?
Yeah. I give him probably a 7, maybe even close to an 8. He played really well. He did nothing like crazy. He's not running down the field like Manchester City, throwing through balls in like it's a crazy thing, but played really well, did well. I am an Alex Telles fan, so I'm sad to see Shaw doing this well, but I'll take the Shaw performances. They keep coming, and I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. I think when Alex Telles came in, I think even myself, I was like, Luke Shaw needs to get in the bin because he's been crap. But Alex Telles has actually gotten the best out of Luke Shaw. I think it's just that competition. And Luke Shaw, for me, he deserves a starting place, rightfully so. There's still people out there that say Luke Shaw is bad, and that he's crap, and he's fat, and he's just admit he's been brilliant for us. He won player.
Yeah, I don't see how you can replace him right now. That's the thing. It's like I want Telles to play, but like you can't replace him.
Luke Shaw's going to get dropped for that Europa League game just because he got another yellow card, so he's suspended for that game.
Yeah. Also, we're up 3-0, so it's like with away goals too.
2-0 actually. But
but with away goals. And
yeah, of course. That, so. Yeah. But yeah, for me, I give Luke Shaw an 8. As we said earlier, Lucas Moura was their best player on the pitch, but he was getting nothing down that left-hand side. Luke Shaw just utter lockdown on that left-hand side. Brilliant from Luke Shaw. Into the midfield, and for me, this is where Andre can vouch for me. I was right panicking all game, mostly up until the equalizer, and I'll start off with Fred, and he scored a goal, but I'm not letting that paper over cracks. He was arguably one of the worst players on the pitch, constantly losing balls, giving away stupid fouls, tackles. For me, that was poor. That was poor from Fred. He did score a vital equalizer, but I'm not letting that paper over the cracks. For me, 4. What are you giving Fred for today?
I don't know where you're on about. I thought Fred was great. He did nothing wrong today. He made a couple tackles. He made 1 or 2 silly fouls, but threw ball there, ball here. Was like stopping the Tottenham attack. I don't see none of Tottenham's midfield did anything. So I think midfield battle overall. I'd for the goal, I'd probably give a 7. Honestly, he did pretty well today.
Connor gave Luke Shaw a 7, and he gave Fred an 8. He said his best performance was wow with a goal to cap it off. Look, I bigged up Fred more than anybody, so nobody can tell me anything about Fred. I really like Fred. He's just been in poor form as of recent, and the reason why I'm not letting the goal take anything away from the actual performance is because there were just so many countless numbers of times where you get the ball in good areas and you pass it sideways. And it's also, he's not someone he's not an advanced player, but at the same time, so many times there would be a heavy touch, giving the ball away, and for me, it just really highlights we need a central defensive midfielder this summer. I don't want to see any more McFred. I'm sick of McFred. But McFred.
The beak.
All he'd be like, this random Dutch kid keeps showing up to these games practice. I don't know who the hell this guy is. Anyways, I actually 4's a bit harsh. 4's a bit harsh. I'll move it up to 6. I think 4's actually a bit harsh. For as much I was, on Fred's case, I'll move it up to 6 because that goal was actually a massive goal, and that actually changed the complexity of how he played because you were chasing that game forever. Into the next one, and Scott McTominay. Kavanaugh again being a cheat. No, I'm just joking
No.
because if I mention that, Andre's gonna rinse me on that one. But McTominay pulling the reverse Lamella, and I mean there wasn't anything that special about the performance, to be honest with you. I mean, pretty average. I'll go with a 6. Connor goes with the exact same thing. He went with a 6. But I feel like Ollie's trying to mold him into a Michael Carrick. He's not a central defensive midfielder. I mean, he even said himself he's not a CDM. He's better at the edge of the box. That's where McTominay, in my opinion, is a very good player. He's just not a CDM. But what are you giving mixed sauce for today?
Mixed sauce is the right pronunciation, and there's no other pronunciation. So this McTominay BS needs to stop here. But probably he wasn't mixed saucy today, so he deserves a McTominay, and he gets a 6 today. He was fine. He didn't do anything special other than elbowing Son in the face on the way to a goal.
Into the attacking trio, and we'll start with Paul Pogba. And for me, he was the best player on the entire pitch. He gets my man of the match. For me, he gets a 9. He was brilliant. And for someone, and a specific person in this room for a while has been saying that Ndombele is better than Pogba. And that person just needs to get out now.
Not today, he wasn't. But yeah, I was already telling Dave mid-match, even before he assisted the Greenwood goal. I was like, I think Pogba deserves the man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, gotta say, at least you're a mini. But yeah, Paul Pogba for me gets a 9. Connor gave him an 8, and he said was great at creating space and scoring opportunities for his teammates, and got himself a fantastic assist. But he gets a 9 in my man of the match. Are you giving the best French midfielder in the Premier League man of the match?
Yeah, I'd probably give him that. He got a 9. That he was really, really good. He played balls all over the field. And like when the lineup came out, I was like, how the hell are we gonna play counterattacking with Pogba, Cavani up front? Like there's no pace
inside, and that's one thing. I think. I mean, the reason why Pogba was looking better was because Pogba was having enough of being on that left hand side. He was roaming in the middle. That's where he's most effective. He's not a winger.
Yeah,
he is not a winger. But for whatever reason, Ollie has somehow had Pogba adapt to that. So I mean, I guess that's good in those situations.
It's working. Whatever he's doing is working because he's putting out like player performances like crazy. He's getting assists. He's making through balls. He's got like when you go to FIFA, you say free roam is what Pogba's doing lately. Like he's just kind of doing his thing for wherever he wants to, and I think he's been really good lately.
Told you he's free roaming. I said that. I said he's a free roam. He's like, he's playing off the left, and he was in the center. No, he was all over the pitch. He was all over.
He's just everywhere. Yeah.
Free roam.
Well, yeah. I mean, looking back on it now, I mean, I will say I was wrong on that one. And Andre was right.
As always.
Okay.
Hey, except for your score prediction. United.
Oh gosh. No, none of that. But yeah, Pogba was absolutely remarkable.
We got to talk about Jesse Lingard at some point. Can we have him back, please? I want to. He's really good.
Yeah. At the end, but let's get through these last lyrics, and then just for Andre, we'll do a whole hour-long section about Jay Lings and about how he's just world class, and now about he needs to be starting in Bayern Munich soon. Going into the next man in that trio, that was Bruno, and for me, he was kind of quiet today. He looked very frustrated. He looked incredibly frustrated. I felt a bit sorry for him.
I mean, you are when you go against the likes of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg,
Oh gosh.
Oh my.
I mean, he was getting. I mean, Bruno a couple of times got shocked, and I have no idea how Chris Kavanagh didn't say anything about it whatsoever.
That's right.
But Bruno wasn't amazing today, but I can't fault his work rate. He had quality work rate today. I mean, I'll give him a 6. Connor gives him a 7. Huck, what are you giving Bruno for today?
I'm giving him a 7. He played a couple crucial balls in some counter-attacking plays. If that first goal stands, like if it stood, then probably would have given him an 8. Like he played a couple balls, like his ticky-tacky stuff here or there. It was pretty good.
And he also had that, like, he kind of, for the second goal for the Cavani header, he was the one who laid it off for Greenwood.
Yeah.
He didn't have any like direct goal involvements, but he was still definitely involved.
Yeah, he was making runs, making good passes here or there. Like he did the stuff he's supposed to do. He didn't have any goal involvements, which is, something that is unusual with Bruno these days, because unlike Harry Kane, he's going to be the PFA Player of the Year.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's gonna get it. And if Harry Kane gets it, that's just pure robbery.
If Kane finishes with both top goals, like number one top scorer, number one assister, first time that's ever happened, like you still 100%.
But it's not going to happen because Tottenham's going to lose every single game like they did today.
If Tottenham get into the top four, then consider it. But if they don't, top four. Exactly, that's my point. And if it weren't for Bruno's carried us into the top four of the season, and he's carried us to where we are in the league. That's why, in my opinion, it has to be Bruno Fernandes. And his stats aren't that far off of Harry Kane, so let's be real. On the right-hand side, and we have
Bruno Fernandes. It's Bruno Fernandes.
Marcus Rashford on the right-hand side, for me, is one of his quieter afternoons. He did chop up a ravioli a couple times, which was definitely, very nice to see. Sorry, Region. But I mean, quiet, looked frustrated, didn't look out of place on that right-hand side. For me, could be harsh, but I'll give him a 6. Connor also gave him a 6 as well. Huck, what are you giving Rashford for today?
I agree with you guys. It was a 6. He didn't do anything special. He was like, it's fine. He made like 1 or 2 good passes here or there, but other than that, not much.
Yeah. And the main man up front, Edinson Cavani, Connor gave him man in the match and said 9. He said he was everywhere in the first half and finally got his deserved goal in the second half.
Yeah.
I thought Cavani was very good today, but he was not man of the match for me by a million miles, because Pogba was just on a different level today. For me, I'll give Cavani an 8. He was, he was resilient. He did not, especially when that goal was disallowed, he did not give up. He was all over the place, constantly in the box, constantly making runs and whatnot. And you know what? He does. He's been doing this for how many years? Just, the simple poacher's goals, they're massive. And Cavani, big up yourself. And yeah, he gets an 8. What are you giving him for today?
I give him, like, if we were doing decimals, I'd give him like an 8.5. Like, I thought he was really, really good. Like, he was right under Pogba in my man of the matches. Like, he is literally the sniper chemistry style on FIFA. All he does is just fucking bang goals in. No matter where he goes, what he does, just 8.5, 100%. Like, headers, chances, like, he makes runs. Like, the ball that Rodon, like, had to literally, like, dive for, because that would have been a goal if that got through. Like, he's just everywhere, and I like that about him.
Yeah, because Cavani, he's staying, like, really tight to our center backs, but just those little runs behind. He was causing so much trouble. I think had it been for Cavani, we might have been able to contain you guys better. I thought, he deserves credit for the win that you guys got. Yeah,
and eventually it's like one of those balls, like, if he keeps making those runs, like, we have Bruno, we have Pogba, we have Rashford, we have Wan-Bissaka, eventually somebody's going to find him and he's going to score, which happened.
Yeah, 100%. On to the 2 subs, which I was fuming at Ollie for. He should have made them quicker, in my opinion. But the first sub, Mason Greenwood. For me, Connor gave him a 9. Great assist and a terrific goal as well. For me, I wouldn't give him quite a 9 just because he wasn't on long enough, but I'd give him an 8 though, because he was spectacular, very, very good. He was doing what Rashford should have been doing. I think he was far more of a threat to Ravioli than Rashford was. But he was very good today. 8. What are you giving him?
Same rating as Cavani. He did really, really well. I made a bunch of great goal assists. Like, I don't think you can ask much more of a substitute. Like, he's on for 15 minutes. He gets 2 goal contributions. So, like, you can't ask for much more, honestly.
And Matic, I'm giving him no rating. He
wasn't on
there. Like, he didn't really do anything. Except run into the corner and Hug Greenwood to celebrate the goal. But other than that,
Bruno Fernandes pushed Fred over. That was pretty funny. Fred's like knee slide.
That was hilarious, bro. That was so funny, honestly. And then Lastly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, big 3 points. One, for me, a team selection for me was wrong. I knew McFred was going to play, but I'm just tired of seeing McFred. But it was, I think, at the end of the day, actually the right decision. But in my opinion, I was hoping just for something more attacking. And the subs just took way too long, in my opinion. So in my opinion, I'm going to mark him down. But I mean, a good result, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I'd probably give him like 7, 5, 8. Like, he won. That's all you can really ask for at the end of the day from a manager. Like, he may have waited too long for subs and stuff. I mean, I was questioning the team selection too, to be honest. Cavani, Pogba, and a bunch of slow pokes in the midfield. Like, doesn't really suit counter-attacking football. But, he won. That's all that really matters. His subs made impacts, and I'd probably give him an 8.
Yeah. I'm tired of counterattacking football. I just think, counterattacking football works against some teams, but it doesn't work against a lot of teams. Because it's so basic, in my opinion. We need a new philosophy. For me, it's.
Yeah. He's doing well. He's got 28 points from losing positions this season. That's like a third of our points from being down in the first half. He's
good.
Really doing something
definitely
right.
Good. It definitely is a good. It's definitely a good statistic, but at the same time, stats don't tell everything. Because sure. Some games have been bored to death of what all he's been doing. But I look at this game. It's a top 6 clash, 3 points, big 3 points. Overcame a massive obstacle, which was the referee. That kind of sums it all up. Anyways,
win our games in hand, baby. Win the games in hand. We're 8 points away. We're challenging for a title. You heard it here. City's slipping up.
Hopefully. And actually, before we end the segment, let's talk about Jesse Lingard. Actually,
and can you talk about Chris Kavanagh first?
Let's talk about Jesse Lingard.
Chris Kavanagh is a really good ref.
Let's talk Jesse
First goal
Lingard.
should have been allowed. He made all the right foul calls. You guys got a shit ton of yellows, which is accurate.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Andre. I had no complaints with the ref. That was a total foul.
Told you.
I had nothing wrong with him.
Good ref. He's a good ref.
Yeah. Looking back on it now, it was a foul. I have to say it.
I had no complaints.
Yeah, looking back on it, of course, tensions fly high and minds fly high during the games. And it's like shit. Like
there was no ticky, like there was no like this much offside calls, and that way if that's not a thing, I give the ref a 10. At this point, like if there's no offside calls, we're like measuring the red line and by a finger and
really
stuff like that. Like
I hate that stuff.
Those lines, and then if someone does this, if you get red card for violent conduct, that's not a good ref. If we avoid those two things, 10 ref.
That's a 10.
And no pens for Bruno, then another 10.
And actually to finish the segment off, we actually are going to talk about Jesse Lingard.
Okay, fine.
As highly as he thinks of Brendan Rodgers, and Fabinho of Liverpool, Jesse Lingard. For me, it's keep performing because his price tag goes up, and for me, I still want Lingard out. I still want him gone in the summer because that's cash we can get.
Yeah.
And for me, I really, really like Jesse Lingard. I want him to do well, but if he comes back, he's going to turn to Dan James again. He's going to just have that role in the club. And for me, he should go. And I heard Lingard wants to go. And for me, he's been balling at West Ham. And for me, that's the right place for him.
I don't see why he doesn't stay. Like, there's so many. Like, he's gonna have a smaller role. He's gonna get paid less. He's gonna get less respected. And like, he's already boys. He has a whole band over. Like, exactly. He literally has like 4 best friends over at West Ham. I don't see why he doesn't stay.
As Declan Rice said,
they're making like T-shirts and stuff over there. Like, if Lingard leaves, all of their marketing budgets out the window at West Ham. They're like, well, we just lost like 50% of our ticket sales because this man is a shithouse goat over here. But
and And I know this isn't a West Ham show, but a quick question before we end off the show: will West Ham get Champions League football this season?
I think it's going to be close because Leicester are chokers, and they don't. I'm never confident with them. Like when they need a result, they don't get it, and when they don't need a result, they get it. It's like, oh, you got 3 points against Sheffield United. Oh, great. Where was that against West Ham? Where was that against Liverpool? Where was that? Like they just get a bunch of results that don't matter in the long run. And I don't know if they're gonna make it. It's gonna be close.
Yeah.
So I think West Ham might sneak in, and Jesse Lingard playing Champions League football against Real Madrid is gonna be something to see next season.
Mark Noble, last minute screamer in the second half to get them to the final. anyways, that's the end of our post match and of our post match review. Huck, big up to yourself. Connor, big up to yourself. If you have liked what you've seen, smash like on the video and take a look at our platforms in the links down in the description below. Who is your man of the match? Who is your best player on the pitch? Worst player on the pitch? And lastly, before we go, Paul Pogba is better than Tengai and Dembele. Anyways, thank you for all watching and have a great day / evening.